Long ago, in the vast and silent deserts of southern Egypt, there lay a place of mystery and ancient wisdom. This place was called Nabta Playa. Today it may seem like nothing more than dry sand and scattered stones, but thousands of years ago it was home to a people who looked to the stars and the moon for answers. They were among the first to create a calendar based on the movements of the moon, and their story is one of the greatest untold myths of human history. The people of Nabta Playa were not like the mighty pharaohs of the Nile. They were simpler, quieter, living in harmony with the harsh desert. But they possessed knowledge that would astonish even the greatest minds of today. They watched the sky with deep understanding, noticing how the moon changed its shape, how it grew from a thin sliver to a glowing circle and back again. They saw that these changes followed a pattern, and so they began to count the days, marking the passage of time in a way no one had done before. According to the myths passed down through whispers in the wind, the people believed the moon was a great spirit, a guide that watched over them. Each phase of the moon carried a message. When the moon was new, it was a time for silence and waiting. When it grew full, it was a time for celebration and giving thanks. The people would gather around their sacred stones, placed carefully in circles, and they would tell stories under the bright moonlight. They believed the stones themselves held the memory of the sky, that they were a map of the heavens brought down to earth. The greatest of their myths speaks of the night the moon disappeared. It is said that once, long before even the oldest elder could remember, the moon vanished from the sky for many nights. The people grew afraid. Without the moon, they could not count the days. Without the moon, the world was dark and uncertain. The elders came together and prayed to the great spirit of the sky, begging for the moon to return. For 3 nights, they chanted and offered gifts of milk and grain. On the 4th night, a single star appeared where the moon had been. It pulsed like a heartbeat, growing brighter and brighter until, at last, the moon returned, not as a sliver but as a full, glowing circle. The people rejoiced, but the elders knew this was a sign. They understood that the moon's disappearance was a test, a lesson. From that night on, they carved symbols into stone, marking the days of the moon cycle so that never again would they be lost in time. These stones became the first lunar calendar, a sacred gift from the sky itself. But the myth does not end there. It is said that the spirit of the moon, pleased by the wisdom of the people, gave them one final gift. On the longest night of the year, when the moon was high and bright, a single beam of light would touch the central stone of Nabta Playa. This was the moon's way of speaking, of telling the people that they were not forgotten. To this day, if you stand among the stones on that special night, some say you can still hear the whispers of the ancients, counting the days, guided by the light of the moon. The people of Nabta Playa are gone now, swallowed by time and sand. But their stones remain, silent witnesses to a time when humans first learned to read the sky. Their lunar calendar was more than just a way to measure days. It was a bridge between earth and heaven, a story written in stone and light. And though their names are lost to history, their myth lives on, a reminder that even in the deepest desert, under the darkest night, the moon will always return to guide the way.